We're going to predict right now for all the viewers at home. So while you're reading the questions, Lucas, if you could bring up the bracket from Group A again. You can do multiple things, Lucas. I believe in you, all right? Just as long as the stream doesn't blow up, everything's good. So
a lot of questions about NRG. I guess we can touch on them.
The thing is, we don't know anything basically. Like we have a general idea of how much they practice because they actually played in Pro League already with Stan, even though they played the actual tournament with Daps. That's as much as we know about NRG at this point. Like we can theorize as to like what kind of impact Stan is going to have on the team, but I'm not entirely sure.
I'll say one thing about NRG. One of the things that like the last year they've been saying through interviews, and it wasn't really picked up that much, but Dav said it like 5 times at different events, that they have like a lack of discipline. Like a lack of discipline in game, out of the game. They lose Antico rounds because they have a lack of discipline. And as a player, as a person, I don't think like Daps is a mega, authoritarian leader in that regard. And the rest of the team seems like kind of a chill, trolly team. So I can see that being an issue.
I think it's more, I think he was saying that more along the lines of the playstyle being just that, like they're pretty used to, going off individual plays and stuff like that and relying on individuals, rather than it being an actual like problem with like the individuals.
I think that there was an like in out of game like thing where maybe even in practice they were also sometimes just trolling around, not taking it so seriously. Then they kind of fixed that, and later on it went down. So I think that is the thing. If Stan can fix that, that would be pretty good. I'm not sure if he can. I don't know like the details of teams and players, but.
Just quickly, a follow-up question which Lucas just pasted. I don't know who this is from in the chat, but said, what happens if NRG bomb out of this tournament? Do they blame... blame... Oh, Stan, I thought that... Stan. My eyes are terrible. I need glasses. I thought that said start from back here. Anyway, no, they don't. Because NRG basically have bought themselves... I don't know if you've seen that movie Hall Pass. It's probably rated M15+. It's to do with a married guy, and he's saying that he's not too happy with the sex life, and then his wife gives him the Hall Pass to go out and fuck whoever he wants. Well, that's kind of what this is for NRG, right? Your expectations when you've just changed things, even though you had a good event in Montpellier, like you're going to be disappointed if you don't do good. But if it doesn't work out, you're like, oh, it's still early days. We're still integrating this. We're still integrating that. Like if you literally see a massive fall off in form from Ethan and Breeze, then you go, hold up a second. How many
there has been some from Ethan, actually. I just, for people who are actually following my stock shifts, I've been kind of going through the numbers of everything, and Ethan is actually going to be one of the falling players because he hasn't had, like, his last 4 events have actually been fairly underwhelming, at least compared to the Ethan we know.
Sure. So in this situation, it'd just be, let's say, if Breeze dropped off a cliff.
Breeze is the big one for them, definitely.
Yeah, so that would be like, oh, what positions is Stan taking, etc. That is from J. Kobe 69. Oh, dear. All right. Well, cool.
The good old 69.
69. He probably made that when he was 14. But I respect it.
Maybe he's born in 69. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was playing matchmaking with a guy. He had a nickname like something like 63, and it ended up being a guy that's like 50 years old, literally ex-Navy Spanish guy that actually lived in Croatia for 2 years and knew like five words in Croatian. It was pretty funny. It was like Dobar dan, and we beat everyone on Vertigo. It was pretty good. Good experience.
Okay.
All right. I like to hear it. So we're going to do these brackets on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go through these, and then we're going to do the fantasy. And then if you guys have any questions, keep them coming. Lucas will keep an eye out, and we might pick them up. So this bracket right here, let's go through these, and we'll find out if anyone disagrees or agrees. Liquid versus MVP. Who wins that one? Liquid, we all happy?
Liquid,
okay.
I think we can just go like top 3 teams.
All right.
Instead of going
let's do that. Top 3, yeah.
All right. Give me your top 3 from this group, Striker.
Liquid. Thing is, I can't say mouse sports because they're just meets Liquid, so they're going to be 3rd probably. But the second one from the other side, fuck man, that's a rough one actually. It's really hard to say out of those 4 teams. I'm gonna put my chips on Renegades just because they finally had some time to put everything together, and just kind of like get used to the lineup that they had before. Obviously, with all the problems that they had following the major, they didn't have time to practice. So now that they have, I obviously don't know about the background, how much they actually did practice, but I assume it was much more than they used to. So I'm hoping that they will be back to their former selves and make it to the playoffs there. So I'm going to put my money on them.
And the third? You said
and
Liquid?
The third, Nemo Sports.
Okay. Strike.
I'll go Liquid Mouse Furia. Just because I'll bank on what I saw instead of what I think could happen.
I'm going to go with Liquid, FaZe, and Na'Vi. And I have absolutely no basis for this logic. I don't predict Renegades to win. I don't think Furia have a style that can work consistently for a lower bracket run like the gauntlet they're going to have to go to. If FaZe versus Mouse Sports again, I think that FaZe probably gets the better.
I mean, they don't have to go through the lower bracket. They just need to beat NRG and FaZe Renegades.
That's true. So yeah, we're going with Liquid, Na'Vi, and FaZe in that one. Bring up Group B, Mr. Lucas.
I have a bunch of questions here. What do you think about the map pool?
We'll wait that one out for a second. Okay, just quickly with this one, we'll reverse order. I'll go first this one. I think Astralis. I hope. It's not that I hope it's Astralis, Vitality, and Ents. Those three are clearly the best three teams in that group. Yeah. Like in the other group, it's not clear. This one here, in my opinion, is quite clear that it is Astralis, Vitality, and Ents are the teams I'm looking for. Who you got, Prof?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, some people were also complaining about like this group seems more stacked because there are like 3 of the 4 HLTV top 4 teams. But at the same time, the other teams are not that good. Like the rest of it looks kind of less.
NIP having your lineup. Heroic are obviously not a top 10 team or anything big, same thing. So yeah, the rest of this group is actually not that strong.
Yeah, it's mostly about like if MIBR and Fnatic can play well, and then they can make this group kind of more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if we were talking like peak, as in like their lineups peak, MIBR, Fnatic, and NIP, yes, this would have been a massively sick group. But this is not what we're talking about. Like none of MIBR, Fnatic, and NIP are anywhere at near their peak. So yeah, this is not such a hugely stacked group.
Let me just save you here just quickly, Striker. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what Striker is saying here is he is saying that these teams normally have a very high skill ceiling, right? He's not saying that they can't have a very high skill ceiling. He's just saying recent history has shown that they have been playing pretty averagely. You know, they're not winning tournaments. They're like obviously it's a little bit dicey for these teams right now. He's not saying your teams are shit. He's just saying they're not performing to their highest capabilities to contend with 3 out of the top 4 teams in the world right now, or something along those lines.
Thank you.
Just so you guys can relax, okay? He's not out going out after any of your teams, after any of your favorite players. He's just saying they're not on the same level as what we've seen recently from some of these other names. That's all we're saying. All right. So we've covered that off. Who do we think is going to take? Let's give out the top 4. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, 3 and 4 are the same. So we'll go. Prof, you go first this time. Who you got?
Like overall top 4?
Yeah. First, second, and then third.
I'll just say the fairy tale will not happen. I think Liquid on paper are the favorites, but I don't think they'll pull it through. I don't think they'll pull through. I don't have the feeling. I'll just say Astralis to take it, and then Ents, Vitality, even Ents, Mouse Sports, and Liquid in the top 4, depending on how the bracket works.
Striker, who you got?
I last week I did say, or last episode, whenever we had that 5 days ago or whatever, I did say Liquid were gonna pull it through in 4, so I'm gonna stick with that. I will put Liquid as first. I can see why they wouldn't, just because of the change of an update. The meta is gonna be slightly different because of the AUG and stuff. So it is gonna make this tournament a little bit unpredictable based on that. But I still think Liquid are gonna be the best team at this event, and they're gonna pull it through in 4 events. Second, I am going to go with Astralis. I feel like, based on the same logic, Astralis weren't particularly great at this meta with the AUG, and they should be somewhere on the way back without it. I'm going to put Astralis as second. Hopefully their confidence issues, the lack of confidence hasn't really impacted them too much, and they will be able to pull it through. Third, fourth, I'm going to go with Mouse and Ents.
Okay.
What did you say? I was sending the fantasy draft to other people.
Mouse, Sports, Ents.
Yeah, so just same as okay.
No, he said
go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Except
go.
the first one, yeah.
I'm going to go Liquid are going to win it, but they're going to lose a game in the group stage, and then they're going to have to go through the lower bracket. Number 2 is going to be Ents, and then third and fourth are going to be Astralis and... Ooh.
By the way, just what you said, Liquid are going to lose and go through the lower bracket. Who are they going to lose to? They're not going to lose to MVPBK. They have a really good track record against Navi, and they just destroyed Mousesports.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, mate. When all the chips are in your corner, sometimes you fucking flop out your fucking 4 kings and they've got 4 aces. You know, that's the hands we're dealt in poker. Who was the other team? I said, yeah, let's fucking go FaZe.
Wait, what's your top 4
then? Liquid winning.
Yep.
Ents second. FaZe and Astralis third, fourth.
Oh, okay.
And there it is.
FaZe, you have faith in FaZe?
Yeah, man. They'll get their shit together. Maybe not.
I'm still torn. Like, based on the last performance, I would never put my money on them because, like, they obviously can get destroyed by basically like a top 10
anyone at this tournament.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to pander towards
so it's like
some of these newer fans.
This last event was pretty shit for them. I think this last event was more shit than people actually realize for FaZe.
Yeah.
Because they only beat Tyloo, and that was one good half, one bad half on Vertigo. Then they beat North with the last game going into overtime, a best of 3 series. Like all 3 maps.
By the way, them dropping into 12-3 lead as well.
Yeah, and then they lost. I think they had like 16-10, 16-8 on 2 maps against Mouse and G2. So they or they 16-12. So they averaged like 10 rounds, lost 4 maps in a row. Like not the greatest tournament. And they finished 5th to 6, which seems not that bad, but honestly their performance was pretty bad.